I sensed them before I actually saw them. The room shifted. Conversation dimmed. My cousin's smile tightened at the edges. Weddings have a way of dragging old ghosts into the light. I didn't turn around, not yet. I wanted them to feel the weight of my presence first. 5 years is a long time to pretend your own child doesn't exist. Even longer when that child eventually stops waiting for you to come back. My hand stayed steady around my glass. I knew it would. Because tonight wasn't about reconciling. Tonight was about consequences. It hadn't always started this way. Back then, it began with a quieter kind of hurt. My mother's voice on speakerphone, thin, bright, too cheerful, saying, "Sweetheart, we're so proud of you. But your sister's final recital is the same day. You understand, right?" That pause after "right" was my father's entire contribution. I remember staring at the acceptance packet on my desk, MIT embroidered in bold red, and feeling something cold settle inside my chest. I wasn't shocked. When disappointment becomes routine, it stops stinging as sharply. Still, it was my graduation. A milestone I had earned with years of sacrifice. An event I had pictured them attending, even if only to say they'd showed up. Instead, they picked point shoes and pastel tulle over me. I told them it was okay. Kept my tone even. And in that controlled calm, something inside me clicked into place. The betrayal didn't originate that day. That day simply exposed it. It had been years of patterns I chose not to acknowledge. My sister cried, they ran. I accomplished something, they nodded and moved on. My promotions, my awards, my breakthroughs, they were background static. But the recital. The recital made the hierarchy undeniable. It was the moment I realized their love wasn't absent, it was conditional. A currency I was never given enough of. That night, I crafted my exit. No slamming doors. No dramatic scenes. Just erasure. I changed my number. Shifted my savings into a private account. Accepted a job across the country, one I hadn't even mentioned to them. I left no explanation. Explanations are for people who believe they deserve one. What I left them with was silence, thick, echoing silence, and I let them drown in it. 5 years later, fate dropped us into the same venue. My cousin's wedding. Small guest list, assigned seats, no chance to slip away. I knew they'd attend. I RSVP'd anyway. Let the ghosts witness what the living have become. When I finally turned, my mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father stopped mid-step. They looked older, worn in the wrong ways, like guilt had aged them more than time itself. I didn't smile. "Hi," I said, my voice colder than the champagne in my glass. "You look successful," my mother whispered. I nearly laughed. Success, of course, that was the first thing she clung to. My father tried next. "We tried calling. You changed numbers," my mother added, her eyes already wet. "I did," I replied. "On purpose." The words landed slowly, clean and deliberate, nothing shouted, just truth honed sharp. My father stepped closer. "We made a mistake." "No," I cut in. "You made a choice. There's a difference." They both flinched. I let the silence tighten around us. "You chose her recital over my graduation," I said. "You didn't miss it, you skipped it." That was the day I realized I'd spent my life trying to earn something you only ever gave her. My mother's tears spilled, big, dramatic sobs, the kind she used when she wanted sympathy. But this time there was no audience. Only me. And I was immune. My father swallowed. "We didn't know it mattered that much." "And that's the problem," I said. "You never knew." A soft romantic song began playing behind us, completely out of place. Around us people danced, laughed, existed. We stood in the center like a taped-off crime scene. I leaned in just enough for them to feel the weight of what came next. "You lost me 5 years ago. Tonight is simply the moment you finally realized it." My mother broke. My father's face collapsed. I didn't move. Their pain didn't bring me joy, only closure. Revenge isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's simply the moment they understand there's no undoing what's been done. Not healed. Not triumphant. Just free. Their grief wasn't mine to carry anymore. Their regret wasn't my responsibility. At the door, I glanced back once, just once. They stood there, small, shaken, staring at the hole where their son used to be. And in that final quiet moment, peace settled in my chest. They taught me I was replaceable. I taught them I could vanish.